my work so rooted in te ao Māori, being anywhere outside of Aotearoa, it feels a bit contradicting.
23-year-old Taranaki fashion designer Vince Ropitini is making his way out into the world.
Considered moving overseas for a couple years now, but now that I'm here, it's a big culture shock, but I think it's also a necessary change for me.
Vince has just moved to Melbourne. He's flatting with his friend and fellow fashion designer, Mana.
Living with a good group of, creative people, there's always that fun, and plus all of us being from back home, it feels like I'm not too far away at all.
Vince is juggling his fashion dreams with full-time mahi.
How hard is it to make it in the fashion industry as a designer?
You don't see too many people sort of cracking it in a way. I love what I do. I love designing clothes, making clothes. I want to make it in the industry. I grew up in Taranaki, right in New Plymouth. Growing up, I was always painting or playing music, always drawing.
As a teenager, Vince Ropitini was always guided by his artistic flair.
Creativity is a really good way of being able to express yourself and who you are. I'm not a very outgoing person as it is, so if I can use other forms of sharing my ideas or what I believe in, I think that's quite cool.
He'd eventually turn his creative energy into designing and making his own clothes.
My nan, she gave me her old sewing machine to use in high school, and then I also learned through my mum, who was into quilting, so she showed me the ropes a bit. Being in high school, it's like I couldn't afford all the cool clothes, so go to the op shop, get something for $1 or $2, and then I can cut it up, paint on it, print on it, and then make it unique. Every now and then people make a comment guys shouldn't be getting into, sewing, what are you doing?
That didn't hold you back?
Nah, it kind of pushed me a bit more, I think.
Vince was also inspired by the online fashion community.
I was able to sort of use Instagram as an outlet for me to show off my outfits and meet a bunch of other creatives and people into fashion across New Zealand and even the world.
After high school, he enrolled at fashion design at Massey University in Wellington.
Fashion school is pretty intense. It's, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of late nights, a lot of just working. There was a good group of us, through uni that all stuck together, got each other's backs. You always know that somebody's going to give you feedback, good or bad, but that's what you need. In a creative industry, you need people to be just real.
He also formed a real sense of the designer he wanted to be.
I'd say most of my design comes from a personal reflection and sort of my desire to reconnect with te ao Māori and my whakapapa.
In particular, the history of Parihaka.
The story and the community of Parihaka is just really inspiring.
In the late 1800s, the Taranaki community practiced passive resistance amid land confiscation by the Crown. The movement was led by tohu kākahu and te whiti o Rongomai.
I feel like everybody in New Zealand should know of that story, and the way that tohu and te whiti were able to lead this community is really motivating way of, I think, living. Peaceful, passive, but being so steadfast and strong.
Parihaka would form the backbone of his first major fashion collection, the art of passive resistance.
Throughout the whole process, I was just researching and reading and learning, and then being able to translate these ideas and stories into clothes.
The collection ranges from sophisticated tailored wear.
I used a range of materials, a lot of recycled cotton, some wool for the tailoring. European would, trade wool blankets for land, and I think making that connection within the collection was quite interesting. I've got the use of cotton shirting, that sort of represents like the nice tailored white shirts that again were also traded.
To streetwear-inspired looks influenced by contemporary Māori art.
There's aspects of like printing and painting, the use of text, symbolism. I tried to recreate some of the traditional Māori dye processing. If you look at some of the pants, there's like this sort of washed, murky black.
A lot of depth there, isn't there?
Yeah. A lot of reference and a lot of thinking behind all the material choices and techniques used within the collection.
Earlier this year, Vince would have a major breakthrough with his collection at the 2025 ID International Emerging Designer Awards in Dunedin.
It felt like a really special moment to be able to show it there, as well as being surrounded by like my friends that were also at the runway, meeting a whole bunch of designers from across the world.
Vince won 2 awards, including being named the VIVA Top New Zealand Designer.
Really grateful for the opportunity to, be named that, and it kind of solidified the idea to me that there is a need for Māori fashion design, Māori menswear at the moment.
The award has given Vince the momentum to take the next step in his career. He set up his studio at his whare.
Next up will be, developing a new collection, developing these new styles. From there, hopefully just getting it out into the world for people to be able to purchase or to wear, just continuing to share my story.
He hopes more young Māori designers will share their own stories through fashion.
To have like other young Māori work with me, work for me, to provide opportunities to those who maybe never considered that fashion as a pathway for young Māori men. There's really a space for Māori fashion to be seen internationally, to bring te ao Māori to the world and really share what our culture is and how important it is for people to see who we are.
For more Hui content, subscribe to our YouTube channel.